Welcome everyone to our brand new Coach's Corner program during the winter sports season. I'm Randy Young, your host. Each week we'll be talking with some of our winter sports coaches from either Miami Trace, Washington Courthouse, or the Fayette Christian School. We have some guests lined up to come and talk to us today. Our first guest will be Samantha Leach, the girls varsity basketball coach at Washington Courthouse. We'll have that interview with her right after this. Career Campuses is the first choice in providing innovative career training to empower individuals and communities. With 4 campuses, Great Oaks offers high school students and adults specialized career and technical education. Check out their webpage at greatoaks.com for details and information. And in this area, don't forget to stop by their Wilmington Laurel Oaks campus or call 800-752-5480. When Summers Funeral Home opened to serve this area in 1991, one of their top promises was to each family that they served to provide thoughtful, caring, and respectful service to those in pain from the loss of a loved one. Terry Summers and his family and staff continue to promise to continue to put your family needs first with the utmost professional care that they can provide. In your time of need, remember the Summers Funeral Home, 223 West Market Street in Washington Courthouse, or call 740-335-6078. Coach's Corner program is the girls varsity basketball coach of the Washington Courthouse Blue Lions, Samantha Leach. Samantha getting ready to start her 3rd season as the head of the Lady Lions program. Sam, you're coming off an outstanding season last year. I think you increased your win total by 9 or 10 games over your first year and so forth. And the fact that you only had lost one senior 2 years in a row, that's very, very unusual.
Yes, last year we were extremely successful. We won 22 games, which actually is the most in program history. And we've fortunately only lost one senior the last 2 years. Our numbers have been down overall in the program, but starting the season this year, it's very encouraging. A lot of our kids are familiar with some of the things that we do, just our offense, defense, just our expectations. And then, as you said, last year having a very good year. This year our expectations are a little higher, but just very excited to get the season started.
When you head up a program that's had such a success, obviously the expectations for the next year are high. How have the girls reacted to that, maybe compared to when the first year or so came in, it had been down a little bit, and you kind of rebuild your way up?
Yeah, I think when I first took over the program, the girls weren't really sure what to expect. There was a lot that I wanted to change just within the culture itself. But I think that they've done a great job, just a lot of work. I was super impressed with our first week of practice. We went 3 hours every day, and that's a lot to ask from a high school kid. But they were there. They put a lot of hard work into it, and I just felt like we had a great first week of practice. So positive attitude, just, they were awesome.
When you look at your team this year, you've got a lot of veteran leadership there, but you also got some of the kids in the underclass that's been with you for several years as well. Let's talk about some of those players.
So this year we have 9 upperclassmen. I'll start with my seniors. Hannah Haithcock has been a starter since she was a freshman. A lot of veteran experience there, very good leader. We have Bree Taylor and Cassidy Hines, Tabby Woods. Those are also 3 other senior guards that we have. And then Maddie Jenkins is another post player that we have. All 5 seniors have varsity experience. And that's another thing that's comforting as a coach when you have players returning that have that experience. Mm-hmm. And then with our junior class, we have Rayana Burns. She's started since a freshman. Shauna Conger, she's also had lots of experience. And then Hallie Wall and Abby Tackage. So 8 out of those 9 kids all played last year, got major minutes for us. So very comforting from a coaching staff. Just experience makes the world of a difference, especially when you get into some of your bigger games. They've been there, they know what to expect, and they're ready to perform.
How much, even though you brought some of the kids up from the reserve team to be on the varsity squad, have you been able maybe to cut out because the girls kind of already know it and if you say do this, run this play, whatever, they got it down.
Yeah, with most of our drills that we do in practice, there's always a goal, a time frame that they might have to make so many layups or so many shots, and they know that the expectation is they make it or there's some type of consequence, or sometimes it might be a case of, okay, we're going to do this drill until we get it. And little things like that, they know that they have to be on time, and they know that they have to all be wearing the same practice jersey, just little details they're familiar with, and some of our basic principles defensively they're used to. So there is a few things that we don't have to harp on that we've had to maybe correct in the past.
Okay, we talked about the team. Let's talk about Sam Leach a little bit. This is your third year of varsity. How do you feel personally? Is it started to get easier for you, or?
I don't know if I would use the word easier, but I'm more comfortable. I think that's just having 2 years of experience as the head coach. It brings more comfort. I know more of which direction I want to go with the girls. I've gotten to know my players better, so I know what type of offense or defense might fit them best. And it's just, you know, I don't ever think it's easy, because the minute I think it's easy, something goes wrong, and then you never know what to expect. But it's definitely more comforting, and also coming back with the same coaching staff. We have a very good bond, and those relationships are there. So that's comforting as well.
You mentioned your coaching staff. That's kind of who's helping you out this year.
So my assistant is Michael Turner, who I've been blessed to be coached by when I was younger, when I was in high school. I have a lot of respect for him. He's coached for several years in this community, and just very blessed to have him on my staff. This is the second year that he is joining us. And then our reserve coach is Corey Dye, who's very well respected in this community. He's coached football for several years. He's very involved with our youth program right now, and he's really good with the kids. And then at our middle school level, I have my dad, Greg Leach, as the 8th grade coach, and my brother, Seth Leach, as the 7th grade coach.
Okay. Those guys, you boss around pretty good.
Yeah, so I can just tell them what to do, and they just do it.
Well, I looked at your schedule this year, and one of the things that stood out right off the bat, and I know you're probably like a lot of coaches when you're trying to build a program up, you want to start playing some tough non-conference games. One thing I noticed right off the bat was a trip to Florida right after Christmas. How did that come to be?
So this is a very unique opportunity. Actually going to they have conferences and clinics, coaching clinics that you can attend. It's a company called KSA Events, and they offer holiday tournaments, and there's one over Christmas break offered at Walt Disney World, and I just thought, man, this would be really cool for our kids to experience. One of the things that I took away from when I played is I got to travel a lot, and that's kind of what separated me from just maybe an average student. Being a student athlete and having the opportunity to play basketball, I was blessed with the opportunity to travel and see a lot of places I would have never been able to. And I kind of would like for my girls to have that same experience, and I thought this would just be the perfect opportunity. So I saw that it was an option, and I kind of just started talking to a few people and thought, hey, what do you think about this? And we did a lot of fundraising, and a lot of people in the community have been really supportive and donating money, and we appreciate that. And so yeah, we're extremely excited. We fly out the day after Christmas. We'll be gone for 5 days. We play 3 games down there, which count as regular season games, and then we also have some downtime, so we get to go to the parks and have a little bit of fun too.
Let kids be kids.
Yes.
Because I know that, especially in basketball, it is such a compressed season with so many games, between practices and games. you got to have a fear in the back of your mind as a coach, and you played, as you know as well, of a burnout factor per se. So if something a little bit different like that, I think that would, and plus it's going to make your team a little bit stronger and bond a little bit more too.
It can definitely be exhausting. We expect a lot out of our kids. We try to do team bonding activities just throughout the week, throughout the season, just little extra things, and just continuously let them know, their hard work doesn't go unnoticed. But yeah, Disney especially, we want them to have some fun, and so there's also that opportunity, and I think it's great, especially going into the second half of our season, because sometimes that can be the most exhausting time period. Is you made it through November and December, but now it's like starting all over again in January, and just going down the stretch. So that gives our team a lot of extra time to spend together, and hopefully some really great team bonding occurs during that trip.
Before we let you go, let's talk a little bit about the Frontier Athletic Conference. Now that you have a couple years under your belt going up against the team, as you look at the league coming into this year, what's your thoughts?
I think it's going to be very competitive. I know that a couple teams lost some key players, but we have a lot of great coaches in our league, and I know that they all have really high expectations from their players, and so I have no doubt in my mind that those teams are going to come back very prepared and ready to compete with everyone.
Would it be honest to say you have to probably know you guys and Trace probably the two early favorites?
Maybe so. So yeah, I know last year it came down to us, and this year we're looking forward to it again. I love to compete. My kids love to compete, so we're excited about the opportunity.
Anything else that you look at your season coming up that maybe will be a highlight or something that you maybe want the folks to know about?
So to start off our season, we're actually going to, it's called the Gary West Classic, and it's the day after Thanksgiving, so this Friday. We're opening up with Gahanna, who very tough competition, but I truly believe my kids can compete. But it's something different and something unique too about our schedule. And we're hoping that experience, our trip to Disney, and a few other teams on our schedule will prepare us for tournament time.
All right, Gary West Classic, is it Reynoldsburg?
Yeah, it's hosted at Reynoldsburg.
Okay. The reserves play at 1:45. The varsity, I think, are scheduled at 3:30. So if you don't have anything to do, or if you're done shopping on the day after Thanksgiving, you want to go see some good basketball, that'd be a good thing for you to do. Get the kids up there. And, I don't know about you, but I've noticed, especially here in the last couple of years, I'm seeing more and more young girls coming to girls' games and stuff like that. Is that something you want your girls to remember? Hey, you're being watched by some of the younger generations. You're going to have to be good examples.
Oh, yeah. That's something that we talk about all the time. Our kids, whether they like it or not, you're held to a higher expectation, and we have a lot of young kids that look up to you. A lot of young kids will choose their basketball number because of your number. They want to be just like you, and so we have a lot of conversations of, just remember everything that you do, who you represent, and our team, they're great about that. They're a great group, and I really enjoy coaching them.
Great. Well, we've been joined by Samantha Leach, the girls varsity basketball coach of the Washington Courthouse Blue Lions. So we'll be having a couple of their games on Facebook Live and also on WCHC TV. So be watching for more information about that. We want to thank Samantha Leach, the girls varsity basketball coach from the Washington Courthouse Blue Lions, joining us here on our Winter Sports Coaches Corner program. We'll be back with more in a moment. You're watching WCHC TV and Facebook.
High school students and adults do have a choice in continuing their education. Great Oaks Career Campuses offer youth over 30 career programs that students from 36 different school districts take advantage of. Plus, Great Oaks offers a dozen full-time programs as well as part-time certification program and short-term classes for enjoyment and lifelong learning. For details on locations or to make an appointment to talk with representatives, contact Laurel Oaks location in Wilmington at 800-752-5480 or visit their website at greatoaks.com.
Coach's Corner is brought to you in part by Courthouse Manor and St. Catherine's Manor. Courthouse Manor is honored to now offer assisted living to our community. Their brand new facility offers one-bedroom apartments for individuals who value independence, yet recognize the need for daily assistance. Services include daily meals, laundry service, housekeeping, opportunities for lifestyle enrichment activities, and more, all at a flat rate. Stop by Courthouse Manor Assisted Living today for a tour at 555 North Glen Avenue in Washington Courthouse. Courthouse Manor and St. Catherine's Manor of Washington Courthouse, a tradition of caring.
Welcome back to our Winter Sports Coaches Corner program. Joined us now is the head coach of the Lady Panthers of Miami Trace, Coach Ben Ackley. Ben, first of all, we're just a couple days from the start of a brand new season, but real quickly, let's kind of go back a little bit from 1 year. Some outstanding talent that you lost, a couple of young ladies especially. Now hopefully will make their mark in the college rank.
Yes, Tanner and Vic both were fortunate enough to get scholarships to move on and play at the next level. Tanner's digit scoring games. Florida Gulf Coast right now is on their way to Hawaii, I think, to play in a Thanksgiving tournament. So she'll be a lot warmer than we are, but she's off to a great start. She's worked very hard. Vic actually just got cleared a week ago Monday. And she should see her first game action this week. I know she was very anxious, and talking to her to get back at it. She's worked extremely hard and had a long rehab process, and it's exciting to see those kids and all their hard work pay off. And they were great ambassadors for our program. They led the right way on and off the floor. They were very good in the classroom, and they'll be very successful with all they do.
You've been in the coaching ranks long enough now. You've had a couple different core groups where you may have had girls 3 or 4 years, and then they graduate, and you got some of your underclassmen coming up. But the makeup, though, of your teams in the last year or two especially is that you still have some of your underclassmen now that are seniors. Hopefully we'll be able to take some of that leadership role.
Yes, that's been a big concern for us moving into this year. Not that we didn't think we had kids capable of doing that, but when you lose leaders like Tanner and Vic and Morgan Miller, who all meant so much to us on and off the floor, it is a transitional period for our kids, and they've stepped up. Cass and Olivia Wolf, and we have 5 seniors, Lena Steele, Becca Ratliff, and Tori Evans are all great kids, and they're all doing it the right way every day, so we're in good hands.
By the time the kids get to be seniors, have you seen it now where they automatically know this is what we have to do? We got to pick the mantle up. We don't want our class to be the one that takes a step back.
Yeah, I think they know that. We talked about that a lot in the off season. About don't be the one to drop the ball. You know, we've been very fortunate. We've won 3 straight league titles, and we were very fortunate to win the first FAC championship last year. But you know, it's more than that, more than winning. It's more about leading the underclassmen, and these kids have been given a lot. They've learned from the best I've ever coached, as far as just doing everything right. We've been so fortunate, like, as coaches, because they policed a lot of things that a lot of coaches have to go after. And we talked to our kids a little bit this year about effort. You know, we don't coach effort at Miami Trace. That's something that's just expected, and if you don't give great effort, you're not going to be around very long. And they know that, and they've kind of built on those things, but they've learned along the way, and now's their time as seniors to almost give back for all that they've been given along the way.
When you look at this year's schedule, I know that you like to play a little bit tough non-conference schedule, get everybody ready for the league, and even though you don't want to talk about tournaments because you haven't even played your first game yet, you still, as a coach, you have to think long-term as well. Let's take a look at your schedule this year. Who's some of the teams you're going to be going up against that, well, maybe the fans are either watching this on Facebook or on the television might sound familiar to them, or they know a little bit about?
Our non-league schedule is not quite as loaded per se this year as it has been the last couple years. We still have a very competitive non-league schedule. We do not play teams of like Hathaway Brown, Ottawa, Glandorf, Reynoldsburg. We didn't schedule those 3 back. We added Eastern Brown, they're back on the schedule. We added Huntington this year, and Peebles, who we have not played in my time there. Circleville will be very competitive in the Southeast District. We play them. Then we've always got the holiday tournament that we play. Jamestown and London are both always very formidable. London's been ranked the last couple of years in the top 10, and Jamestown is always really good. Plus, you play them at their place, which makes it even harder for us. We open up at Lynchburg Clay. They have arguably the best player in the whole area. The Scott girl that's a senior point guard, she's going to Miami of Ohio. She's legit. I thought she could have went as big as she wanted to go, but their education and stuff they offer, I think they had everything she wanted, and she'll be a great fit. We also added Wilmington back to the schedule this year. They're D1 now, not by much, but they're D1, and they have, along with Scott, Maya Jackson, who is a really good guard. She signed to play at Seton Hall next year, which is a big D1 school. I know she was looked at by the likes of Washington and teams on the West Coast, and I think she wanted to stay a little closer to home. And the Jamil girl, I mean, they've got a lot of formidable kids. They play a very tough schedule, so we were blessed that they would, think enough of us to add us to their schedule. So very tough non-league schedule. North Adams is back on there. They're very good. So we'll have our hands full moving forward with that.
I'm going to say, I was looking at your schedule. It seems like at mid-January part, you got Peebles, I think, on the 10th. Then you got Minford, who went to the Sweet 16 last year, on the 14th. Then you got Proctorville-Fairland on the road the 19th. There's 3 games there in about a week's time. Teams have gone either to the district finals or to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, and we want to load the schedule up, especially that in the middle of January, when you can find formidable non-league opponents. I think it's very valuable because by that time we have a lot better grip on exactly what we think we are, and avoiding injury and stuff, that's what you're going to have going into the tournament. So we have a lot better grip, and then we can make adjustments following that. The year we went to the Final Four, we had a 4-game losing streak in about 10 or 11 days, and that was kind of the breaking point for us. If we're going to build off of that, or we're going to let it get the best of us. And our kids, they made the adjustment and bought into what we were doing, and it certainly paid off. So we hope that the non-league schedule and that time, we actually don't play Fairland, it's Fairland Shootout.
Oh, okay.
We actually play Vincent Warren, which is much better.
No.
Because they're always very good too. But we thought it would be great to play a team on the other side of the district that we could face, hopefully, in the district if we're fortunate enough to make it there.
Okay. Let's talk about the FAC, Frontier Athletic Conference. Again, you guys won the first title last year. How's things shape up for this year?
The league is down as a whole, I think, talent-wise. I hate to say that. I'm just being honest. It's not where it has been. With what we lost, Chillicothe's lost a bunch over the last couple of years. Jackson lost a first-team All-Guard, first-team All-FAC guard that's going to Ursuline's very good. They're going to be very young and inexperienced, but very well coached. I think clearly the class of the league and the whole Southeast District's Washington Courthouse. They return everybody off a 20-win season. I think Miss Burns is the best athlete. I've lived here 38 years, and I think she's the best female athlete I've ever seen walk on soil in Fayette County. I mean, she's that talented a kid. She can absolutely do anything. I think you give her a golf club and a golf ball in a week, and she'd be hitting it straight down the fairway. Yeah. She's that kind of talent, and she's shown that in everything she's done. She's excelled. So it's her third year playing varsity basketball, and Hannah Haithcock, who just signed with Southern Indiana. is an exceptional talent, as good a post player as I've ever seen in this county. So she plays at her own speed. She never lets you speed her up, and she's been a pain for us for 3 years, and we're blessed to only have to play her hopefully 2 more times. So, and then, you know, Shauna Conger is as good a shooter as there is in the whole area, and I know she's worked extremely hard over the summer. They've got a really good thing going in there right now. That Sam's done a great job, and her and Coach Turner and their whole staff. So, you know, she's the district coach of the year last year. They made it to the district finals. You know, so they're, yeah, I know we're coming back as champions, but I clearly believe it's their league to lose, and they've earned that right with what they did last year. They gave us everything we wanted both times we played them with what we had, and now losing that, hopefully we're just in a place by the end of December where we can compete with a team the likes of Courthouse. So
let's talk real quickly about your coaching staff. How's your staff shape up for this year?
We return our whole high school staff and junior high staff from last year, which is always exciting. You know, I appreciate the fact that you ask them, because I don't get to brag on our staff nearly enough. And it starts clear down at our youth program. Our staff puts a ton of time into our youth program at Trace, and we take a lot of pride in you know, what we call our bridge system, which is basically what's getting them to us eventually. But Coach Welsh will be back with me. This is our 7th year at Miami Trace. It was, for me to come, I wanted him to come with me.
Right.
Because it was, you know, a lot more high pressure job, and we were coming into a program that had been good way before we got there. So he's awesome, does a great job. Sean Grooms is also a varsity assistant. Sean is a great game coach and adjustment guy. He's been a big asset to what we do along with us. He also coaches varsity softball at Trace. Coach Detweiler, a.k.a. Coach Overstake's daughter.
Right.
She's basically been an assistant varsity coach for her entire life, as she's been on a bench ever since she's was able to walk, and she's a walking basketball encyclopedia. Plus, being a female coach, she relates so well with our female athletes and puts us in so much better of a position. Not to mention she's in the building, which is huge, because she's our only varsity coach on staff that's in the building. So she's kind of our go-between between us and the kids during the day, and that's big. Randy Rogers is going to coach our freshman team. We're very fortunate this year. We have 24 kids in our program.
Wow.
Which I think is probably the most of any program around that I've heard of. A lot of teams are really struggling, and we're very fortunate. Randy Rogers coached varsity at Westfall years ago, so we're very fortunate to have him. He volunteered last year, and we got him a position this year. We're very excited to have him along. Our junior high staff is John Persinger and Jeff King. Both bring a ton of basketball experience and knowledge to our junior high kids. I basically put them on an island. You know, we give them a few things that we would like for them to work on, but they know what's going on, and there's no need to babysit them. And we know that when our kids get to the high school level, they're going to be prepared for what they need to be prepared for. So just very, very excited to have the staff, not only just in basketball knowledge, just the people there. We really enjoy each other's company. Coach Detweiler and Coach Welsh and I just had lunch going over scouting stuff, and we work extremely hard, put a ton of time in, so it's very important for us to get along and have a great rapport, and all our coaches and kids have a great relationship, and it's just always a very exciting time until it's over. You know, when the season's over, it's almost depressing because you don't want to let go of the kids, and
Right.
and you've worked so hard over the course of a year to do it. You know, our kids are very active in the youth program as well. They referee, they help coach, demonstrate stuff in our youth camp. So it's really, we've tried to bring a family atmosphere to everything that we do, and we're real big on our high school kids giving back to our youth kids, because that is our future, and more or less it's their future. So we're just very proud and honored to be a part of what we've got going, and hopefully we can get some wins this year. And I think that as our group gains experience together in their new roles, I think by the end of the year we could be a scary matchup for some.
Well, it's Ben Ackley, who is the girls varsity basketball coach for the Lady Panthers. Miami Trace joined us here on our Winter Sports Coaches Corner. It's going to kind of wrap it up. As we mentioned before, if things work out, we're going to try to be doing some of the girls and boys high school games around the area this year. So, Ben, hopefully we'll have a couple games with you guys a little bit later on this season that we'll see how the team's progressing.
Well, we appreciate it, and we appreciate all that you guys are doing. Our local athletes have no idea how fortunate they are to have people like you and the coverage they get between this and the paper and everything else. For a small community, we have the best, so we appreciate that.
All right, thanks a lot, Ben. Appreciate having you. And also Samantha Leach, the head girls basketball coach at Washington Courthouse, with us today. Next week, Rob Pitzer, the Miami Trace boys coach, and Lewis Reed, the wrestling coach from Washington Courthouse, are scheduled to be our guests. We hope you join us. Don't forget, you can see Coach's Corner on demand on our Facebook page at WCHC TV, or you can see us on television Wednesday nights at 6, Thursdays after the 8 a.m. and 5 p.m. Fayette Focus shows, and on Fridays at 12 noon. Until next week, hope everyone has a real safe and happy Thanksgiving. I'm Randy Young. Thanks for joining us.